Nice to take that mask off for a few minutes. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to William Paterson University and the dedication of the Barbara Moll Grant Hall. Today is a momentous day for the university and for the Moll Grant families. As we proceed with festivities, I ask you all to remember that it was Barbara's unwavering commitment and philanthropic generosity to William Paterson University that has brought us all here today. Today's gathering is about so much more than just a building. Today is a celebration of Barbara's rich life, generous spirit, and now, her legacy. It is now my pleasure to introduce alumnus Aaron Van Dyne III, Chair of the University's Foundation Board and Senior Principal of Van Dyne CPAs and Advisors. Aaron. You're welcome.
Get to take that off. Good afternoon. As Pam said, my name is Aaron Van Dyne. I'm the chair of the William Paterson University Foundation. I'm pleased to welcome you all here. Today, to the dedication of this Barbara Moll Grant Hall. The William Paterson University Foundation is committed to raising funds in support of academic excellence and student success at this great institution. On behalf of the board of the foundation, it's my honor to recognize the generosity of our late alumna and Professor Emeritus Dr. Barbara Moll Grant, whose gift of $5 million we recognize today with the dedication ceremony. As a fellow alumnus of William Paterson, I earned my bachelor's degree in accounting from William Paterson in 1975 and a master's degree in music management in 2008. And I've been teaching here as an adjunct for 13 years in the music management program. I am keenly aware of the incredible impact that this gift will have on our students and want to express my deep gratitude to Dr. Grant's sister, Dr. Dorothy Grant Hennings, who joins us today, for this incredible investment in the futures of our students. With that, I would like to now introduce Michael Allen Seif, who was the former chair of the Foundation Board and is current chair of the William Paterson University Board of Trustees.
Thank you, Aaron. This is indeed an exciting day as we recognize the very generous donation of the late Dr. Barbara Moll Grant to William Paterson University. As we recognize this gift today with the dedication of the Barbara Moll Grant Hall, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Dr. Grant. Dr. Barbara Moll Grant was the daughter of William Albert Grant and Ethel Moll Grant, both of whom were silk manufacturers in Paterson, New Jersey. She received her undergraduate degree in elementary education from what was then Paterson State Teachers College in 1954 and went on to earn a master's degree in reading education from the University of Virginia in Charlottesville in 1959 with a doctorate in reading education from Teachers College, Columbia University in New York. She began her career as a first grade teacher in Glen Rock, first at Central School and then at Byrd School. In 1963, she joined the faculty at her alma mater as a reading instructor in what later became the College of Education at William Paterson. During her tenure at the university, she co-authored two books, The Teacher Moves, published by Teachers College Press, and Content and Craft, Written Expression in the Elementary School, published by Prentice Hall. She was the founding member of Phi Lambda Theta Honor Society chapter at William Paterson and held a leadership role in the organization for many years, speaking at national conventions as a representative of the William Paterson chapter. Upon her retirement from William Paterson in 1998, Dr. Grant was awarded the title Professor Emerita. Dr. Grant continued to be closely involved with the university until her death in 2019. She served for many years as a member of the Hobart Manor Revitalization Committee and attended many campus events. Her philanthropy began in 1980 with a gift to the annual fund, and she later established the Barbara M. Grant Scholarship in 2005 to provide support for a student in the College of Education. and she very generously remembered the university in her estate plans. Now, through this transformative gift to her alma mater, students from across the institution in multiple disciplines will benefit from the scholarship support that will allow them to fulfill their dreams of attaining a college education. We are so grateful for Dr. Grant's generosity and support for William Patterson University, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees, it is my deep honor to recognize her today. Now, I'd like to introduce President Richard J. Heldobler to present his remarks.
Thank you, Chair Steve, and thanks to you and your fellow trustees for your leadership and commitment to William Patterson. Also, thanks to Chair Van Dyne and the Foundation Board members. I've seen some of you up here, Dom and Rick Sirota, and some of you around. Thank you for being here today. For your service to the university, as well as Pam Ferguson and her institutional advancement team for arranging today's event. So certainly welcome to William Patterson on this wonderful day, somewhat rainy, but yet wonderful in many ways. And thank you all for joining us on this special occasion as we gather together to celebrate the life of Professor Emerita Dr. Barbara Moll Grant and her generous support of William Patterson University by renaming Preakness Hall in her memory. I'd like to offer a special welcome to Dr. Grant's sister, Dr. Dorothy Grant Hennings, as well as other members of the Moll Grant family. Dorothy worked closely with Pam and her team to ensure that we found the most appropriate way to honor Dr. Grant's memory, and I'm sure that you'll agree that they've succeeded. You know, it's especially fitting that this great academic building at the heart of our beautiful campus will now bear the name of someone who was central to the life and growth of William Patterson University in so many ways and for so many years. I think that Dr. Grant would have appreciated the proximity to Spirit Green in particular, since she and President Emeritus Arnold Spirit had such a wonderful working relationship and close friendship. I was speaking with President Emeritus Spirit the other day, and he regrets that he can't be here, but he sends all of you his well wishes. And you know, he talked about his relationship with Dr. Grant, and he said she was a close friend, a good ally, and a careful thinker. And when she aligned with you, you knew she was aligned with you. But her argumentation and debate skills were also formidable. So I mentioned to him, I said, you'll be happy to know that the proximity of Spirit Green and now Grant Hall will allow you to stay aligned and continue your debates. So as many of you know, Dr. Grant was a committed educator, a respected scholar, and an accomplished author, and a leader on our campus community. She cared about our students at William Patterson when she was teaching them, but more importantly, she cared for them throughout her life. Her commitment to them and to this university was evident in ways both large and small. From her continued involvement at William Patterson long after her retirement to the incredibly generous investment in our students that we recognize today. I'd like to share a little bit about this building, which will henceforth be known as Barbara Moll Grant Hall. It is really one of William Patterson's core academic buildings. It is a place where students, faculty, and staff come together every day to teach and learn, innovate, and create. The kind of place where a lifelong educator like Dr. Grant felt right at home. It was completely renovated almost exactly 4 years ago today as part of a long-term plan that saw the modernization of facilities in the academic core of our campus. A year prior to the 2017 dedication of the new Preakness Hall, University Hall, right across the way, was opened. And a year after that, I had the pleasure of presiding over the opening of the renovated Hunsinger Hall, which is immediately to our right. In addition to its beautiful location, the new Barbara Moll Grant Hall is notable for a range of the advanced academic facilities it houses, across its 58,000 square feet, including kinesiology labs and the phlebotomy room, and 14 smart classrooms and a 90-seat auditorium, and many study spaces and faculty offices. Given Dr. Grant's research interest in the pedagogy of writing, which is the subject of one of her books, it is particularly appropriate that it houses our writing center, which you can see right there. It's also important to note that though a relatively new building, at its heart lies one of the two original academic buildings on our campus. So it is a wonderful blend of both the historic and the modern. I think that you'll agree that all of these attributes make it a place worthy of bearing Dr. Grant's name. Given the range and the depth of Dr. Grant's many contributions to William Patterson as an alumna, a professor, and benefactor, her name and her memory are sure to live across the campus that she loved so much, and in fact, gave her life's career to. So I am pleased that with the naming of Barbara Moll Grant Hall, it is to be right here in the heart, the very heart of our campus for all to see. Again, I'd like to thank Dr. Grant Hennings for all she has done to facilitate Barbara's gift and the event today, and now I'd like to invite her to share some remarks about the Moll and Grant family. But before we do that, we have a small gift that we'd like to present to you. So on behalf of William Patterson, we have some ceremonial scissors that says Barbara Moll Grant Hall Dedication Ceremony, Thursday, September 9th, 2021. So it's not only fitting for the ribbon cutting, but fitting for a teacher. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sure.
Very good. Very good. Have to take this off. Yes. Can you hear me? Yes. Very good. First, I want to thank you all for coming. I want to thank particularly the people, and I just counted, and I saw you, Bob. Yes, he's a Grant. He's the one who is really, he's Robert Grant, and he's the only one with a Grant as a last name that is surviving here. But we have a number of people who are carrying Grant genes. Raise your hand. You too, Janice. Raise your hand. Yes, and Bob over here. Yes, yes. Yes, and some of you may know, I have said it over and over, that we have the matriarch of the Grant family here today, and that's my dear cousin Janice, who's 95 years old, and she is blessed to be here with us. Yes. You know, when I knew that I would have to speak here today, at first I thought, well, I'll tell a lot of little anecdotes about my sister and my growing up together, starting off in Patterson. I even went to the file. Can you see that two top pictures? I found a picture of my sister and I. We were very thin in those days. Yes. I guess living the good life fattened us up. And there we were doing what I continue to do. We were walking the passageways of the United States, you know, the ship? The United States, yes, MS United States. And as I said, we really looked pretty good back then, yes. But then, you know, I thought, no, there's a more important story to be told here today. It's the story of what brought us here today. And I wrote my story as an ode. I wrote an ode a few weeks ago or months ago when my friend Jenny's husband died. And so I've been writing odes. You know, that's my thing right now. And today I'm going to share with you what I have called the Ode to Ancestors and Patterson Silk, the Grants and the Molls. brave men and women left their native lands, came to a chosen land, America. Grants, Molls, our ancestors came, some together, some alone, seeking freedom, seeking home. Our ancestors came, immigrants all, to Paterson, to a city by a great, great falls, to toil in a mill, to wind, to weave, to work with silk. Yes, to build. From Scotland, Ancestor Grant came first. Matthew Grant, that's how he was in those days, Graunt. Matthew Grant, with wife and daughter, pioneers early, crossed the sea in 1630. Imagine that, 1630. Years roll by, years roll past. Cross generations, our Grant line lasts. Now forward, forward fast. Find our Grandpa Grant. Your grandpa too, right, Janice? Grandpa Grant, a fixer of looms. Late 1800s, thereabout, from New York State, our Grandpa Grant came to Paterson, came to the silk mills to fix broken down looms. Grandpa worked hard to make his way, carefully strove, saved for a future day. He married a weaver, his dear little Annie, I'm named for her, an immigrant lass, sired 3 tots, our father, Bill, our uncle, Howard, our aunt. Their oldest son marched off to war, the great, great first war. Our father, William, was that man, fought that war, an artilleryman. He ran the mighty, mighty guns in San Mihiel, Argonne, Grand Prix, the Meuse, Moselle, on other battlefields as well. Yes, he survived those battles. Against all odds, Bill made it home to run a factory our grandpa had begun. It was called Grant Silk Manufacturers, a Paterson mill. Now turn the page of our ancestor book. To Germany, look. See our Grandpa Moll. Lost his ma, lost his pa. Packed the little junk he owned in a barrel trunk. Came to Paterson to learn to wind, to weave, to lead, yes, to succeed. Turn the page of our ancestry book. Turn it yet again. Take a second look. See a silk mill. See a silk mill in your mind. In England, see a little girl of 10 years old weaving long hours at a loom. Our Grandma Moll. Mary Elizabeth, born a Wilcox. When a young woman, packed a small, small wooden box. To America, she came alone. Lizzie, as she was known, came to weave on a Paterson loom, came to weave a life of her own. She paid for her sisters to come. All 4 she brought, her parents too. In the Paterson mills, the sisters wove. they sold, they saved, they worked, they wove, they saved, they worked, they wove, they saved. Together, they bought a house, 3 stories high, a Madison Avenue Patterson house. The first floor for renting, the second for them, the top for boarders, just for men who worked with silk in Patterson Mills. A young, hopefully handsome, John Moll, eager to make a life, to find a fine, hard-working wife, once a baker, a weaver now, came to board at the Wilcox house, saw Lizzie, chose Lizzie, his wife, for life. Together, our Grandpa John and Grandma Lizzie built their own 3-story house up on 11th Avenue, 643, with space to rent, yes, with place to live, 2 children born, our mom, Ethel Barbara, our Uncle John. These children could not go beyond 8th grade. John and Ethel had to work. Grandfolks Moll saved to buy a loom, one massive, noisy jacquard loom. They set that loom in a chicken coop behind their house. They bought a second loom, a third, a fourth, invested more. From one loom in a coop, they built a business, a vast, vast Patterson silk business. Time passed. Ethel Moll grew up, met young Bill Grant, married him, had us, me, Dorothy the younger, Barbara Moll Grant, who carried the names of 2 Patterson mills, Moll and Grant. But, in the 30s, Patterson silk hit hard times. Family mills like ours left Patterson for more fertile fields far, far away. So many silk mills went elsewhere to thrive, survive for another day. 2 family mill names we bring back, we return to Patterson today. Those names, Grant and Moll. Yeah, look up there. They're right up there. Yes, yes. They should be here. Yes, they should be here. Those names are woven into the silk fabric of Patterson, the city where William Patterson University began. Now, my sister's name, Barbara. First of the Grants and the Molls to graduate from college. Her college, Patterson State. My sister went forth from here to teach young children to read, to write, and yes, to sing. She came back here to William Patterson University to teach for years and years. Yes, my friends, her name belongs up there. Her name embodies what Patterson was when it was the silk capital of America. Tells what can be achieved with a Patterson diploma. Shows what can be accomplished when good men, good women, cross generations and generations, weave, strive, save, weave, and today bequeath. Now, think of students, an endless stream of women and men, beneficiaries of the grant legacy. Picture in your mind, I can picture it in mine, a long, long line. William Patterson, women and men, striding forth, spark in eye, head held high. Grant scholars, grant scholars, grant scholars, marching, marching, marching into the future to make a much, much more wonderful world. What a perfect picture. What a powerful picture. What a legacy to leave. The Barbara legacy. The Grant family legacy. Thank you all for being here today with my sister. Keep well. Keep hope alive. Thank you so much.
So now for the fun part. Thank you, Dorothy. That was a wonderful ode to your family, the Molls and the Grants. Will today's speakers please gather behind the ribbon for the cutting ceremony?
One, two, three.
So thank you all for participating in this wonderful, momentous ribbon cutting ceremony. Round of applause for the Moll and Grant families.